spending all my time folding. I shouldn't have got this out. Hi everyone, welcome back to Explore Life. My name's Craig, and in today's video we're going to be talking about my top 10 travel essentials. So let's do it. And the number one spot goes to the mobile phone. Of course, nowadays everyone has them. No one should be travelling without one. So it's a fairly obvious pick, but it's such an important pick anyway, because the amount of things you can do with it is just unbelievable. You can use it to call an emergency number if you need an ambulance, police, or fire services. You can use it to Google whatever you need. If you need to find the nearest hostel or restaurant or bus times or whatever, you can do it with this. If you get lost or you need to find out where to go, it has Google Maps, so it comes in handy in so many ways. And also, if you don't have a proper camera, then all smartphones nowadays come equipped with a fairly decent camera. If you know what you're doing, you can get some really good shots and also videos. So it's really an all-in-one package. It has everything you need. You can store numbers. There's just so many things you can do on it, so that's why it has the number one pick. Not that this list is in order, but it just had to be at the top anyway. The second thing on this list is a cap. I mean, it looks pretty useless. It looks just like a fashion statement, something that you just wear with your clothes, but it actually comes in quite handy, because if you're in a hot country, it obviously protects you from the sun, but if you're going somewhere where it might be a cooler climate, like around Europe or America or especially England, it tends to rain a lot, and if you have one of these, it can protect you from the rain. It can also keep you warm if you haven't got a woolly hat. So it's very versatile, can be worn in all weathers, can keep you warm, can keep you dry, and can keep you protected from the sun. So it's definitely worth investing in a hat. It's fairly cheap, like £20 or something. Don't underestimate the importance of one of these whilst you're travelling. Now with number 3, we're going to stick to weather, and right here I've got a windbreaker or a waterproof. It's both, and the useful things about these are that they're fairly thin, as you can see, and they can be rolled up quite tight and compact. You just throw that in your bag, and no matter where you go and whatever climate, it's always likely to rain somewhere or be windy. So just having one of these packed down tightly in your bag can really save you if it starts to rain, especially if you're traveling around countries that tend to rain a lot. Just having one of these means that you can not take a big jacket that's going to take up a lot of space. Just take one of these, and if it's cold, you can wear a hoodie or layer up a bit, and then just add this for when it rains. The number 4 spot is obviously something I tend to go on about a lot. It's a reusable water bottle, preferably with a carabiner clip, just because it's so useful. You can use it to clip onto your bag, clip onto the seat in front of you on a plane or bus, or you can use this for other things like clipping maybe your wallet into your bag so you can't get pickpocketed. So that comes in useful, but that's a bonus tip. But the main thing is the reusable water bottle. This will save you so much money whilst you're travelling. You don't need to get one as big as this. This is a new one because I lost my other one. But if you get one that's about a litre, you just fill it up as you go from like a cafe or a pub or maybe a hostel or hotel, and that'll save you so much money over the course of like a few weeks of travelling, and the amount of plastic it saves is so good for the environment. So I'd definitely invest in a reusable water bottle. The 5th spot goes to a backpack. I recently just got this backpack, as are the really good things about it, and it's a 2-in-1, so you get a day pack and the main bag. but it doesn't necessarily have to be one like this. It could be any backpack that you've got, that as long as it's got enough room for you to take all your stuff that you need travelling, and that's pretty much fine. But it is important to have a good backpack, especially over a suitcase. You definitely don't want to be taking a suitcase with you. Even going on holiday for like a week, I'd recommend the bag over a suitcase, just because if you need to take a bag out from your hotel, just for during the day, but all you have is a suitcase, it's just so annoying having to drag around a suitcase. Whereas when you've got something, I mean, this can be stored away to look like a suitcase or something, but when you've got something with handles, you can just go on your back. It's just so much more convenient to walk around with all day than to have to drag a suitcase behind you. So that's why this is definitely a must-have. The number 6 spot goes to a travel plug. Now, you can get travel plugs specific to the location that you're going to, like a European one or a American one. But what I'd recommend is an international one. So basically, what happens is you've got a little switch on the side and you push it, you get a UK one. Push it to the other side, you get an American one, and then if you twist these, you've got an Australian one. And then on the bottom, you've got a European one. So instead of buying multiple adapters for different locations and having multiple adapters in your bag if you're going from Europe to Asia, it's just so much easier to get one travel plug that does all of them. And also, these travel plugs have USBs in them, so you can have a main plug for like your laptop and then have your phone plugged in at the same time. Number 7 on this list is watches. Now, I know some of you will be thinking, well, we have mobile phones, we can use that to check the time. But when you do that, you deplete the battery on the phone. So it means that you're not going to get the most battery out of your phone and you'll have to charge it more. And when you're travelling, charging your battery can be inconvenient. Like, you're not always going to have access to a plug to charge it. So you want to try and save as much battery as you can. And also just taking your phone out of your pocket every 5 seconds to check the time can be a bit of a hassle. Not only that, but a watch, an analog watch anyway, the battery will last for years, and it doesn't matter really what watch it is. It can be a smartwatch or an analog watch. I personally prefer the old school watches because the batteries last for years, so you don't have to worry about charging them overnight like you do with a smartwatch. And I also think they look a little bit better on your wrist. They don't look as big or clunky. And I like G-Shocks because of how rugged they are. Like, you can go underwater with them, you can bash them about, and they're pretty indestructible. So I would definitely recommend taking a watch with you next time you go away. Number 8 is a notebook and pen. Now, a lot of you might be wondering why it's on there. And when you have phones and stuff, you don't need to write things down. But it actually has a lot more uses than that. For example, if you're trying to speak to a local and there's that language barrier and you just can't get over it, well then you can draw a picture that might help describe what you're trying to say, which could help you communicate better. You can also use it to write numbers down if your phone's dead, for example, or directions for the same reason. Another thing as well, you can use it to play games. Now, I know that's a bit of a weird idea, but say you're waiting with a friend in an airport and your phones are dead or you don't want to use the battery, well then you can just play noughts and crosses or Hangerman or any other paper-based games, and it can help pass the time. So I think with this, it's the little things that really make it worth it. In the number 9 spot is the quick drying towel. Now, this is a quick dry towel from Amazon. It's fairly inexpensive, and if you're going travelling for a long period of time, then you never know where you're going to get your towel from. If you're staying at hostels, they might not have them, and if you want to get showers at, say, maybe leisure centres or wherever you can get them, then, or you want to go swimming in lakes or whatever, then this is definitely a must. It's fairly compact, a lot more compact compared to a normal towel, and that's why I recommend it, as well as the fact it quick dries. Just zips up into this little container, and it's basically like a microfiber cloth. Folds out, and you've got a towel which is the size of a normal towel, so that's unbelievably useful. And the fact that it packs away smaller than a normal towel is one of the reasons it's a must. Now, last on the list is a first aid kit. Now, this isn't a first aid kit I take travelling. This is the one that we have around the house. It's obviously far too big to take travelling. You get ones that are about that big and have enough in to do you. But the main reason why you want one of these is because it has plasters in, it has bandages in, it has useful things that you probably won't need to use, but if you're travelling for an extended period of time, like a couple of weeks or months, and you're going to be doing things such as hiking, swimming or cliff jumping or things like that where you can get scrapes and cuts, then it's definitely worth just taking one with you, because if you get those little cuts or scrapes, you have plasters on hand, and if you get something a bit more serious, then you'll have a few bandages to sort the issue out. Well, that's all for my top 10 travel essentials. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want any of them, I'll link them in the description below. Let me know what your travel essentials are in the comments below so I can compare them with mine. Please hit that subscribe button and like and comment, or dislike and comment why. And as always, keep exploring.